there is nobody can think of life that is free of challenges, problems, obstacles, and hindrance. There is no one ever will ever think that he will have a life that it will be 100% completely smooth. Everybody has his own struggle. Everybody has his own problem. It's been said once, a wise man, his follower kept telling them, everybody coming to him and said, I have problem, nobody else like me, nobody else like me, nobody else like me. Then he said, okay. So he asked everybody in their community to write down their problems and put it in a jar. Then he said, now we mix all these problems together and randomly come and pick one of these problems. So I took your problem, you took my problems, he took his problems. And when everybody opened the paper and looked at other people's problems, everybody said, no, give me my problems back. You think you have the worst situation in the world, but you don't know what people are going through. So I thought this will be an interesting point to start with today, to talk about certain tips that I would like us to have. And these are very important skills that we should learn as individual, and I'm sure you do, but it's a reminder. And maybe some of it can be an education to some, and how to deal with these problems in life at large. It doesn't matter what this problem, in which area of your life. Is it your marriage? Is it your business? It is your deen? Is it your social life? Because that skill can be used in any areas in your life. And another thing that I would like to start with is one thing that I'd highly recommend for you, don't exhaust yourself in thinking about the details of your problems. Sometimes we are consumed by the problem, that it is we consumed by thinking about it too much, that we see it so big. And the shadow of something is usually bigger than the thing itself. So it became so huge as if it is the most complicated things, and became almost impossible to solve it. What I advise you, if you have a problem, don't think too much about the problem itself, but spend most of your time thinking about the causes of the problem and the solutions for the problem. And instead of just all the time is just nagging and whining and talking about, I have problem, I have problem, I have problem. You know what? I'll make a deal with you today. I'll give you 20%. But 80% of your time should not be talking about the problem. Should be talking about why this is happening and how can I solve it. So 80% of your time should be focused on the reason, the cause, the root cause of it, and the solution for it. And I'm saying this because the root cause, to ensure that you will solve the problem completely and will make sure that it will not come back to you. Many times, I ask people when they complain about their family, I said, what's the problem? This and this. I said, but that's not the problem, that's the symptoms. What's the real problem is? I don't know. Why you're not working, why you can't do this, why? They really don't know. And you know why? Because we don't invest time in investigating what is the root cause for me to be angry all the time. Why I am so frustrated. Why I'm like, I can't deal with my family. Why can't I memorize Quran? Why can't I improve my relationship with Allah? Why I can't save money? Why is this organization is not working good? Why I can't relate to my kids? All the time, my kids don't listen to me. My kids don't listen to me. I'm losing my kids. I'm losing my kids. That's too much investing time on talking about the problem. Think about, okay, what are the cause for it? What are the solutions for these problems? I found in my life 3 types of people when it comes to problem. Somebody day and night, nothing but complaining about their problems, talking about it, and they became muhbatin, yani so disappointed and depressed about it. The other type, which is also interesting, avoid the problem completely, as if it's not exist. living in some la la land, somewhere between Pluto and Mars. Leave يعني Earth completely. And he isolates himself as it not exist. That's also wrong, in my opinion. I think the third category, the one who really think about the root cause of the problem, where it's coming from, and how can I solve it, but they continue to live their life, their daily activity, and so forth. Make sure that you never ever woke up in the morning, all what you think about, the problem. That you know what? Yes, I know that you are short in money. I know that, Monday you have to file your tax, but you don't have, to pay your taxes. But you know what? You can have an extension. You can talk to your CPA to find solution. The point is, you don't need to wake up every day and go to sleep every day. You do nothing but think about your problem. Because the moment you became driven by your problems, the moment you will not accomplish. And I love this hadith, and I will mention one more time in the end of my khutbah. قال من أصبح والآخرة أكبر همه. When you wake up in the morning and the akhirah, the Jannah is your main concern, that's a very positive thing. I couldn't think of anything more positive than Al-Jannah. That this is my biggest concern. That's my goal. That's a different lifestyle than you just woke up, and you just complain about your bad luck and the life that you have and so forth. My second point is, ask yourself, there is a problem there? Because I also found sometimes that often we create problems out of nothing. Sometimes we create and make a big deal out of nothing. And sometimes I'm guilty of that. What you need to do is to relax. Just take a deep breath. Take a step back. Maybe it's not really the biggest problem in the world that you think about. One of the things that I start doing myself, I start asking myself, all Muslim community has a problem. We have a problem in the community. Okay? That's natural symptoms. Ask yourself 5 weeks from now, 5 months from now, 5 years from now, would you consider this a problem? The answer sometimes is no. So life becomes so less stressful when you stop making mountains out of, mulch. Or you're making like a mountain out of small things that is not really worth to make it that big of a deal. Or make it out of just, as we say, out of thin air. Number 3, make sure when you having a problem that you come with a realistic solution. I found a lot of time we very unrealistic in the solution and expectation we want our problem to solve by. You have to be very practical. And you have to find real solution to the problem. And also real solution, it doesn't mean band-aid. Sometimes, when I go to the doctor, I remember sometime in my life, everything, the doctor has only one shot. Well, I still remember that. Anybody go to the doctor, he gets shot. I remember we were in school. It doesn't matter. You have a flu, you have a stomach ache, whatever it is a shot. And just make you feel good. Maybe it is something to calm you down. Maybe it is just a Benadryl, whatever, he give you just to give you. They don't really treat the root of the problem. It's just to put a bandage on it. And so many times we do that. You know what? She will be fine. Don't worry, your husband will change later on. No, he doesn't change. It gets worse. It is not true. You just can't put a bandage on it and think it's going to solve. Like so many times when marriage happen and problem happen, they have a big problem. You just give her a gift, give him a gift, but the problem never was solved. That's a very dangerous way of treating problems, especially when it comes to marriage problems. All what you want your son or your daughter to tell you sorry, even if you really know and you know that they're not really sorry for what they said or what they did. You putting a bandage on the problem, you need to, when you want to solve problem, make sure that you have a real solution for it. I'm not against, by the way, taking painkillers. And I mean that in a metaphorical way. I'm not against put a bandage on the thing for a little bit. But what I'm against is to think that this is the solution for the problem. It's okay, not, you know what, we need to calm down, me and you. We do need to fight as a husband and wife. Avoid talking about it now. But we have to deal with it down on the road. I have to have this conversation with my son down on the road. Also, and you see Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam have used that, put things onto the burner for a little bit, low burner. So you wait until the right time comes to address the issue. Another point is important, which is number 4, is to make sure that you always have multiple solutions for your problem. I always say, this as a comment on, you always have to have plan what? B, that's right. You have plan B. I always say, and C and D and E and, mashallah, there is many letters. Why only B? The more you can have solutions, the more you can offer yourself solutions to the problem, the better you will know how to deal with the problem. A lot of time when we try one solution, it doesn't work, we just get so, disappointed and we just give up. And we think that's not going to be solved. It's so important for you to learn how to give yourself multiple layers of solutions, multiple options. As a matter of fact, I always say, a successful da'iyah is the one who offers community multiple choices. And Sharia filled with choices. And very rare to find the Sharia said, that's it, either this or no. It gives you multiple choices. Like for example, let's say the good deeds, Ramadan is coming. Some people think that the only way to make an amal as-salih is to finish the whole entire Quran reading. That's one thing. The only thing is to, give money or this. There's multiple things you can do. And that's the nature of Sharia, is always give you multiple choices. So it's so important for you, if you want to deal with the problem, that you give yourself several solutions. Number 5, ask, consult. فإنه ما ندم من استشار أو ما ندم من استخار ولا خاب من استشار. One of the things that we learn, that you will never regret consulting. You will never regret praying istikhara and doing istishara, which is taking people's feedback, opinions, how to solve this problem. Don't complain to people. Rather, ask people for help, especially with your family. Don't just complain to your mother about your husband, about your wife. Ask your mother, what solution you think you have for me. Don't complain to your friend about your children. Ask what you have, what you can offer me. And by the way, just for the record, those who offer solutions are not only the sheikh, also people with experience in life. Get in the habit of seeing what kind of successful, experience that they have, and you can copy that. And Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam had a problem with the companions. In the story of, Umrah, في العمرة في الحديبية, when the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, we're not going to Mecca, we're coming back. He told them, they didn't break their ihram. We're not going to Mecca, but for the Arabs, I don't know if you know that or not, it's rooted, many of Islamic rulings coming from where? From Abrahamic practice. So Abrahamic practice known to the people of Arabia even before in Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam time. And part of it, Hajj and Umrah and honoring the Bayt and making ihram and all these things, rituals, are very known to them. So one of the major things is to put ihram and not to finish the nusuk, not to finish your Umrah. So for them, couldn't believe, I have ihram, I passed, I said labbaik Allahumma labbaik, and now I'm not going to do the Umrah? I'm not allowed to go to Umrah? It didn't even happen in Jahiliyyah days that somebody would stop me from Umrah after I put my ihram. Never happened in the past. The killer of your father, you will see him doing tawaf and you don't touch him. That's the custom. So for them, for no reason, Muhammad ﷺ with 10,000 swords, or with the companions around him, and they have the power to go into Mecca, they are prevented from going for Umrah. So they couldn't accept that. He talked to them, nobody did. What he did, he consulted Salama radiallahu anha, his wife. In another incident, an important incident in the Prophet's life, when he first, Jibreel came with the wahi to him. So confused, problem, what do I do with this? He consulted his wife Khadija radiallahu anha wa ardah. Umar radiallahu anhu used to consult. He has, ashab al-mashura, the people who he consult them all the time. The elder among those who witnessed the battle of Badr. And he added to them other young companions like Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu wa ardah. And that's Umar. So one of the things that is so important for you to learn how to consult people and ask for advice. And you will find wealth of information from people, the good people that you ask for an advice. Also, one of the things that is so important, number 6, be resolute. You know what? If I make a decision, I'm consistent, I'm going to take the actions, I'm not going to be hesitant all the time. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, فَإِذَا عَزَمْتَ فَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ. When you determine on something, move on with it, with tawakkul on Allah. Because you can't just keep back and forth, back and forth. You're never going to make any solutions. You're never going to move forward with your life. I remember one of my teachers told me something a long time ago. يقول العقل الزائد كالعقل الناقص. Too much thinking, it's like less thinking. Both are problematic. Too smart for yourself or too lazy to think, both are problem. There is people think too much. Calculate too many risks. It's complicate things for themselves. That doesn't work this way. You're never going to have it 100%. There's always risk in life involved. So what you need to think about is to be moderate and to be resolute and to take the risk. Don't just let fear and hypothetical and unrealistic fears or risks prevent you from taking actions and making solutions to the problem that you live. And also outside, دائما احتفظ بحقك. You have the right to be wrong. Don't let anyone or don't let yourself to strip yourself from that right. You have the right to be wrong. كل بني آدم خطاء يقول النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم said every single human being makes mistakes. That's your right as a human. Don't take this right away from you. Not purposely you do what is wrong, but there's nothing wrong with being wrong. I did my best and it didn't work. That's why النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم إيش قال علمنا قال لا تقل لو أني فعلت كذا وكذا لكان كذا. Even when you make mistakes, النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم said, don't ever say, oh, if I did this, this wouldn't happen. Because that's if open the door for the shaitan. It just make you, feel bad. It doesn't really make you move forward. And that's not the point, is to make yourself feel bad. Learn from it and move forward. Number 8, I want to say, accept it. And this is maybe hard for you to hear it directly from me. There is certain problems you have to learn how to swallow it, to live with it. There is certain problems, there is no solution for it in this life. Inshallah, when you go to Jannah, it will be solved. There is certain problem like that. I have to learn how to accept. You know what? My father is an angry old man. My mother, she's a very demanding woman. That's it. I have to live with that. I have to accept that. I can't change the fact that she's my mom. I can't change the fact that he's my dad. He's not going to change. I have to learn how to accept this. You know what? I get so frustrated sometimes. You know what? I ask the community 1, 2, 3. They do 1, 10 and leave 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. Even though you said, hey, can we do 1, 2, 3? But you know what? That's how people are. I get frustrated. Why would you park your car double parking? But the reality is, I have to live. I need to live with that. But just use a tow company, I guess. A towing company. But in the end of the day, in all seriousness, we have to learn how certain problems to accept And when I say accept, تتكيف معها. Accepting it doesn't give it legitimacy. Accepting it doesn't mean my father is correct and my mother is correct. That's why Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam قال إن استمتعت بها استمتعت بها على عوج وإن ذهبت تصلحها فإصلاحها طلاقها أو تقوي هذا الوجاج طلاق. He said لا يفرق مؤمن مؤمنة إن رضي منها خلق إن كره منها خلق رضي منها آخر. The reality is your spouse will always have something not perfect. He said, you need to learn how to live with it, how to adjust to it. You know what? If you think that I can't live my life because my husband has 1, 2, 3 problems, there is no perfect man and there is no perfect woman. We need to learn how to live with our problems and to accept them and to adjust our life with some of these problems, because sometimes you just never going to be able to get rid of it. Some, not all. One of the things also I would like to say, it is important, is to give problems its appropriate time to be solved. And that's what we call as-sabr. قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم إنما النصر مع الصبر. Patient bring victory. It will eventually help you to solve your problem. But just give it the time. It's not kun fayakun, it's not now it has to be done. Some problems basically happen over years, are not going to be solved overnight. So take your time. You know, if you give the time, and you find out that there is no way, you know what, this problem I have to bring an end to. For example, relationship. I give my husband, I give my wife, you know, enough time to help. You know, at one point, that's it. We can't live together. He's physically abusing me. You know, this person he cheated on me. He keep missing that. I give him 1, 2, 3 opportunity to fix himself. He's not fixing. You know what? You're fired. You know, it can't work together. You know what? I can't be a friend anymore. You don't know how to respect friendship. So you give it its time, but at one point, you have to make the decision to be resolute and to move on. 9. Make a lot of istighfar. قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم من لزم الاستغفار جعل الله له من كل هم فرجا ومن كل ضيق مخرجا. Make a lot of istighfar. Make a lot of astaghfirullah. And the Prophet said, if you do that, you say a lot, astaghfirullah, Allah bring exit for you from every hardship, from every calamity. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bring ease to you with hardship. So make a lot of dua, a lot of tadarru'. Pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Beg Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah will bring the solution all the way to you. He will not even guide you to go to it, He will bring it to you. And this is a religious advice or something, not something that I can explain to you in a physical format. The reason behind it is something in the hand of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that He made istighfar, and our sins has an impact on our life, complicate our life. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said about sinners, فَسَنُيَسِّرُهُ لِلْعُسْرَى نَسَأَ اللَّهَ السَّلَامَةَ وَالْعَافِيَةَ. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said about sinners and wrongdoers, that their life is usra. Everything goes wrong in their life. And that's why one of the things, if you notice everything going wrong, too many problems in your life, pops up in everything in your life, you know what? You need to step back and to make istighfar and to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive you and to repent. There is something going wrong in your life. Needs to be fixed. Because that's something somehow related to one another. Finally, I would say, make sure that you break the problem into pieces. There is a saying in Africa, how to eat an elephant. They say, 1 bite at a time. You know, that's how your problem should be. If you want to eat your problems, 1 bite at a time. You know, you want to basically deal with it. Don't make it all together. So, you know what? Sometimes a couple comes to me. I said, hold on. We have here 3 issues. We have custody. We have finance issue, your financial right. We have kids, child support. We have a divorce issue. These are different issues. Let's deal with one at a time. We deal with the divorce. We finish with it. We deal with the custody. We deal with the child support. We deal with your financial compensations and right. You can't just all of them together at one time. You have to break it down and to deal with it. You know what? My economy is bad. Taxes are high. I have my rent coming. I'm in debt. Okay, you hold on. Just break it one thing at a time. So this is how you should always deal with your problem, to break them, especially even if they're not, I'm sick and my car is not working and I'm in debt and I need a plumber. Okay, one thing at a time. I can solve this whole thing in one time. Just break it down, and that will help you a lot to solve your problem. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala أن يعيننا وإياكم وأن يجعل أيامنا وإياكم في يسر. قولوا ما سمعتم واستغفر الله لي ولكم. الحمد لله وحده والصلاة والسلام على من لا نبي بعده وبعد. Finally, my brothers and sisters, make sure that you remember that the Prophet ﷺ said, ما أنزل الله من داء إلا وله دواء. There is no disease unless there is a cure for it. And this disease, as Ibn al-Qayyim rahimahullah said, all type of disease, physical, spiritual, economical, and social issues, anything, any problem, there is a solution for it. And believe me, I know that there is so many problems out there. I'm very, very familiar with it as an imam and a person listening to people's problem all the time. But also I'm very familiar with another fact. As I know for a fact there are so many problems, I know for a fact that there are so many solutions. So always keep that in mind, that you remember this. Don't let your problems live in your heart, occupy your heart. Don't make it block your eyes. Look at it, see it from distance, but always be positive in your attitude. Always be driven by your dreams and your goals in life. Always think about what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants from me. What can I learn from this? How this will make me grow. How basically, instead of I have a problem, how I deal with my problem. It cannot be solved. No. How can I solve it? How can I reduce it? How can I manage it? And so forth. And one of the things that really, I mentioned it earlier and I end with it because of the importance of it. One of the things that help a lot, make sure that your eyes are always on the akhirah. No matter what big problem that you have in this dunya, and you look at the Jannah and you look that one day you will die and you will leave all this behind your back. Whatever problem that you have, it will look so small. Let's think about that. I'm not asking you to escape your problem. No. And I want you to be able to put it in its right size. Just one of the things that, because you need a good, psychologically, you need to be ready to deal with it. Just think about the akhirah. Think about, this is something that became your main concern. And I can guarantee you a lot of these issues that you deal with and stress you out in this dunya will become very, very small comparing to the size of the akhirah and the size of Jannah.